What is going on, Skye Squad? We are back in the building. Well, back in the car for me, okay? Because y'all know I told y'all I'm visiting my parents. So, I was about to head out and I said, you know what? I got to talk about this. It has just been sitting on my spirit and my soul after seeing these preview clips for Porsha's new TV show that's premiering on Sunday night at 9 p.m. And I just had to come on this line and talk to y'all about it, okay? Now, I know it's Black Friday, and I know y'all probably out there doing your shopping, so you probably not on the internets, okay? But if you are, let's have a little conversation about Porsha's Family Matters, okay? Now, the full episode is not out yet, but there are 3 clips out there, and we're going to talk from the perspective of those 3 clips about what we're going to see in these episodes. And again, it was just bothering me in my spirit after watching them all. And I had to just get on the line and talk to y'all about it because I'm trying to look at this from the perspective of, obviously she's a cast member on The Real Housewives of Atlanta that we are familiar with. She is also, this is also a spinoff show for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they make that very apparent. And I'm really torn between the 2 or 3 realities that the show is really giving us in this episode, okay? Or at least from the trailer clips that are out there. Now, just to give you guys some perspective, first things first, this is a spin-off show for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I want to make that entirely clear. When you go look this up on, the BravoTV.com, you will definitely see it under Real Housewives of Atlanta. I believe they even still give it the Real Housewives of Atlanta, branding, but it is really specifically focused on Porsha. Now, I don't know if that is so that if she decides at some point, if this show does not work out for her, that she can go back. I don't know if it's because that's how they've done other shows in the past, but typically, with the exception of, I would say, Kim Zolciak, everybody else's might have had the same branding. I can't remember, but it almost seems like they're giving her the cover of The Real Housewives of Atlanta so that it will help drive Atlanta fans, or I should say Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, into the show because it's under that umbrella. And that makes sense from a branding perspective. I can't say that I would not do that. The other thing is, and I will tell you guys this, let me interject this, and this is going to be kind of my free flowing thoughts on this, but I will say, if you guys have not read the book, Not All Diamonds and Rose, I am in the midst of reading that book right now. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. This book is probably a must read, especially for the people of this community, because I really feel like it goes into depth about a lot of things that we talk about in terms of the mechanics of how reality TV works. And if you are somebody who is as interested in the behind the scenes of all of this stuff like I am, this book is a must read because you not only get to hear from the cast members, you get to hear from Andy and the producers, things about the show that you may have thought or may have not even known, or you just get a different perspective on how these shows are made. Now, I'm only on chapter 2, and this is The Real Housewives of New York chapter right now, and it's already been very illuminating for me. So I just want to tell you guys, I don't make no money from it, but Andy Cohen probably does, because this is under Andy Cohen Books when you open up the title of that book. So you guys will see that, and I might do a whole separate video on that in terms of, how he is sort of managing this whole publishing empire from behind the scenes. It is very, very smart, okay? Very, very smart. But we'll touch on that another time. The reason I mentioned that book is because as I'm reading the book and as I'm looking at Porsha's, reality TV show under the Real Housewives of Atlanta umbrella, a lot of things make a lot of sense. And so that's why I would encourage you to do so as well. The other thing that I want to say is, there's a part of me that wonders if they put it on the Real Housewives of Atlanta umbrella so they could use footage from the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13, whatever the last season was. And I'm sorry, it's escaping my mind right now. The one that featured Fallon, because Fallon is also featured in flashbacks on this show because the show does not shy away from how Porsha and Simon got together and their past interactions as it relates to Porsha meeting Simon through Fallon. Okay. We get a lot of flashbacks with regards to Fallon and Simon. Again, the show does not shy away from that, which I applaud their bravery for that, especially, Porsha's, because the flashbacks don't always make her look the best. And I say this, let me start by saying this. I say this as a Porsha Williams fan. I'm a Porsha Williams fan through and through. I have followed her journey as much as many of you guys have. And so I definitely root for her to win and to, live the best life possible. You know what I'm saying? I really want that for her. But at the end of the day, I just have some thoughts about this show. And again, we're going to get into that. But I wanted to kind of give you guys, I wanted to lay the groundwork for what I'm seeing with this show on the surface. And then we will dive a little bit deeper into this. So just run with me as I give you guys my thoughts on this. Now, we have the fact that they're doing the flashbacks. They give us the whole picture of Simon and Porsha and Fallon and that whole timeline. But the interesting thing is, I feel like this show is looking at, or is giving us two realities. And I said that earlier. The first reality, or maybe three realities. I think one reality is Porsha's reality. Okay. Now, in Porsha's reality, I feel like she has her own view of how things went with Simon and them meeting. For instance, she says something to the effect, and I think that she said this, that he DM'd her. Okay. Now, when she says that, you get also the other side of the coin with Simon's reality, quote, okay, where he says she DM'd him after the divorce announcement from him and Fallon. So I guess she was saying, sorry, I'm so sorry about your divorce, or something to that effect. Okay. Don't quote me on it because I'm going from my memory. So you have those two realities, and poor Lauren, and I don't know if I should say poor Lauren, because, that's what a sister does. They're going to have your back. They should be ride or die or whatever. But Lauren, in a scene with Dennis, oh yes, Dennis is featured on the show. He presents our third reality. Okay. And I'm gonna get to that in a second. But poor Lauren is sort of in this space of defending or laying the groundwork for Porsha's reality. But even Lauren has it's murky about whether or not her memory of how they got together is valid or not, because according to, I think, the conversation with her and Dennis, there was a 2-week time frame, between the time that that Porsha and Simon started dating to the time where they got engaged. But according to Porsha, they dated for a month beforehand. So it's kind of like, I know that Lauren is there to sort of back up Porsha, which, again, she's a sister, she should do. But then Porsha has a different story about the timeline, which in this case, listen, honestly, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. In my real life, okay, in my day-to-day life, I should say, I don't really get too much into what people do. I don't really care. Do whatever makes you happy as long as you're not hurting nobody else. That's usually my stance. So I try to apply that in this situation, but because there's a conflict here, I have to look at this situation and I have to be real about it. There is a difference between, a month and 2 weeks, and it makes a difference because of the timeline of Simon and Fallon's divorce and the optics of it all. And that's important in this situation. In any other situation, I will tell you guys that oftentimes you will hear couples or married couples, they kind of detail how they met or how they got together at some point in time. They typically detail it just a little bit different because they both have their perspectives on who pursued who. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually a cute thing. But in this situation, you got to look at it with a side eye, because you got to think to yourself, Now, first of all, this situation just seemed like it came out of nowhere and it didn't make no sense to nobody. But now you got to look at it like, what is the truth? Okay. So then again, you have Dennis's reality, which presents the third reality, which is probably going to be the perspective of a lot of people, is that none of this makes any sense. He says he flat out asked Lauren, he said, well, was it the money? Is that was it the money the reason why she was, so, interested in setting things off with this man so fast? And Lauren is like, well, she got her own money, which is true. Okay, which is definitely true. But from what it sounds like, it seemed like Simon got more money. Okay. So there's your money and then there's more money. Which one do you want? Okay. I know for me, I want more money. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the case. That's the honest God truth. Now, I'm not trying to marry or do anything like that for money. But you know what? I feel like nowadays, what we're seeing with reality TV is like, sometimes I feel like there's a group of people in the reality TV world that say to themselves, you know what? This is entertainment. I'm here to entertain. Somebody that I feel like that. I feel like there are a lot of reality TV stars like that. Let me say that. And I can appreciate it because it's entertaining. But then sometimes I'd be like, it kind of like makes it feel less real. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times when we watch it, we as fans, we get all roped up into it because we get our feelings all into it. But the people on screen, they playing, right? So I don't know if I always like that, but I can say that it is probably the smart way to go. So it makes me wonder sometimes, did all three of these people, like did Porsha, Simon, and I don't know, it almost feels like, did this happen because they knew they wanted to make a show, they knew they wanted to do something scandalous and have all eyes on them? You honestly can't help but ask yourself that question when you watch this show. And I have to salute Porsha for her bravery because she is putting herself out there in a way that don't always paint her in the most positive light. And that's the truth of the matter. So a part of me wonders, is she just okay with that? You know what I'm saying? Is she just okay with it because it's like all eyes on me? Having Dennis on this show is definitely going to present a perspective that, again, the reality that a lot of people view this the way that a lot of people view this. Dennis represents the way that a lot of people view this situation, like what is really going on here. And Dennis even says, there is no way that Porsha would have been with me if I didn't have no money. Okay. Now, he's not necessarily saying she's a gold digger, but but that definitely seemed to suggest or imply that he felt like that to a certain degree. And so for me, I'm just like, I don't know how I would feel about having my ex on this show talking about, suggesting that I might be a gold digger. That to me that's a huge step in a weird direction. Okay. Now, the other thing that I got to tell y'all is that there's a birthday party scene on here with Drew Sidor is in. Now, there's a whole bunch of other people like Yandy and stuff like that. And again, I feel like all of this is designed for maximum impact, like for maximum ratings, for maximum views, which also kind of makes me raise my eye. But anyway, Drew comes to the party, right, to Porsha's birthday party, and she's, has her little encounter with Simon. And it's just like kind of awkward because she has to reflect on how she met him. You know what I'm saying? And they go back to the scene at Fallon's house, Simon and Fallon's house, I should say, in Real Housewives of Atlanta, where Fallon and LaToya get into it. And Fallon, I hate that she was dressed as Medusa because that costume the costume was great, but it's kind of like her in that costume. It's almost like they picture her, they portray her in that scene as like kind of like a little monster or something like that, because you see her in her costume and then she's running around, upset. And then they showed the cameraman in the back and Simon holding her back and stuff like that. And, Fallon, Fallon is a beautiful woman. She is top model type to me, but, it was just the optics of the way the scene plays out. When you see it, you will understand what I'm saying. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's just like, so we get that flashback and Drew is like, I mean, she's kind of tongue-tied about like how she feels about the situation, because she's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to really ask no questions. You should be asking some questions, Drew, because who would not ask any questions? She's just like, as long as Porsha is happy, And I think Simon says something like, it will all make sense soon. And I'm like, when? When is it going to make sense? Because on paper, this don't make no sense. As I'm viewing it, it don't make no sense. The people around y'all saying it don't make no sense. But at the end of the day, I feel like we supposed to just rock with it. I mean, yeah, we will rock with it because, you know, we who are fans of Porsha, we ain't got no other choice really, you know, but to sit back and watch this show play out, okay? Because that's what it has turned into. The reality of the situation is a show, and then it's a show in and of itself, okay? So I just want to know what you guys think about it. Again, I had a lot of thoughts, and I wanted to give you guys my free flowing thoughts about this situation because it was confusing to me, and I'm not sure how to receive it. And I guess we will just have to watch the episode in order to really get a better idea of what is really going on here and how this situation will really portray Porsha in the long run. But let me tell y'all something. As you watch this show, you start to figure, like, in your mind, Dennis would be the Kenya on the show, because these would be the questions that Kenya would be asking on this show, and rightfully so. I'm just saying, and I don't mean that in a bad way, okay? I know some of y'all think, oh, he don't like Kenya. He don't like Kenya. He don't like Kenya more. He don't like Kenya more. I don't hate nobody. First of all, I don't even have that type of energy in my heart or my spirit. Y'all should know that about me. Baby, let me tell you, life is too good for me to hate on anything. I may not always like stuff that somebody does, but I don't hate nobody. I got love for everybody. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I definitely see that, you know, in this situation, Dennis is definitely, I think, supposed to present the antagonist. But, you know, we talk about antagonist and protagonist. And for those of you guys who know, protagonist is supposed to be sort of like the hero in this situation. The antagonist is the person who is causing, you know, the ruckus with the hero. And I feel like whereas Porsha is supposed to be the protagonist in this situation, which she may be more of an anti-hero, which we will talk about at a whole nother time. I feel like Dennis is also going to be looked at probably as more, especially in this first episode, of the antagonist, because I feel like he's asking the questions that we, the public, really want to ask. Now, we're not calling her no gold digger per se, but, you know, and he didn't come out and say that, but he's asking the questions that I feel like anybody in their right minds would ask. Okay. So it may be a show full of anti-heroes. I don't know. We about to see, but y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Oh, side note, for those of you guys who are interested, I know it's Black Friday. So at amirin.com, go check us out. We got a 35% off sale that is going on today on everything in stock. So definitely check that out. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this show. If you've seen the clips, I will place them in the description down below so you guys can watch them for yourselves and form your own opinions. Don't just listen to mine. I always ask y'all, you know, and y'all are always welcome to come to the table with a divergent opinion, because that's what makes this channel great to me. But at the end of the day, that's just what I think. And I can't wait to really dissect this on Monday and really see what is what in this show. So that's all we got for y'all today. I'm about to go out and try to do some Black Friday shopping. I will catch you guys in the next video.